Good morning, Goderich. This is Anthony Wilkinson, and I'm here with
Wayne Black.
and it's a wonderful June day out here, and we had a bit of rain this morning. We're out on the Black homestead here, and just gonna talk to Wayne a bit about farming, about the use of social media, kind of out in the farming with rural areas, and get some nice scenery here. So tell me a bit about yourself, Wayne.
I live here with my family, Jennifer, and my wife Jennifer, and 3 children, and we have a 100-acre cash crop farm here. So you can see it goes way back to the bush there. We grow corn, soybeans, and wheat on this farm, and I also work with my father on his farm, which is a few miles away from here, where he has a dairy operation. We need people to speak up for farmers, and farmers often need a voice at the table for different situations. I'm also involved with a couple of federations, one the Huron County Federation of Agriculture and also the Ontario Federation of Agriculture, the provincial level, just to get a voice for farmers at the table, and also actively involved with the county on some economic development and sustainability initiatives.
Excellent. So when you say social media, what would you like? What are the tools you use? What sort of social media channels do you use to communicate with people?
The main social media tool I use is Twitter. It forces me to keep my message brief and to the point whenever I put a message out to people who follow me and everyone else who are interested in reading my tweet.
Mm-hmm.
So I stick to mainly to Twitter, and I know Jen, my wife, she uses both Facebook and Twitter, and she's starting to get into the blogging, and that'd be my next step, I think, is the blogging, just to explain my message a little bit further, but it's going to take some time.
Mm-hmm. And who are the sort of folks you're connecting with online then? I would assume other farmers.
Yes, but I do connect with a lot of other farmers, especially in Ontario. There's getting to be a lot of farmers on Twitter and Facebook in Ontario. Some of them are using tools such as their iPhones or Androids or basically their smartphones. Some of them even have the iPad that they're able to use in the farm.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have the new iPad too, and the ones with the video cams, they're able to basically, while they drive down the field using smart technology, to get a message out on video on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
promoting what they're doing, advocating for agriculture, and sharing, also using their smartphones to share their issues. Like, for an example, in the wheat field, there's a bit of a weed pressure and also some disease popping up. So a lot of farmers can use social media to take a snapshot of what's going on and tweet it out to the other farmers and say, hey, what are you guys doing to solve this problem or this issue? Just using the weed as an example. And another group that's connecting with is the political types, or politicos as they call them in Washington. Most of the members of our provincial parliament are on Twitter now, right from the premier on down to our local MPP. So, and their staff. A few of them follow me because of my active involvement with the various farm organizations I work with.
It must be interesting to be online because we kind of had a brief conversation because I mean, I grew up on a farm as well. It's very interesting talking to people from more urban areas. It's kind of there's a lot of misconceptions surrounding farming nowadays.
Yes, that's the other group which we need to connect with more so, I think, is to get the message of modern farming, modern agriculture out there. The misconceptions, trying to think of the word, the ideal farm that they perceive they want to have as their neighbor or farming or where their food comes from isn't necessarily viable type of farm that we want to be able to use to produce food, because we have to produce food efficiently, effectively, and in a sustainable manner. And sometimes their ideas on how we should do that doesn't always necessarily meet all 3 or any one of those 3 goals. And that's the way I choose to farm. Environmentally friendly, sustainable way, and we have to be efficient at it at the same time.
And you have to make a living.
And we have to make a living somehow. So conversing with I call them the foodie types, the foodie people. They're interested in where their food's coming from. They're interested in what we do as farmers to produce that food, and they're interested in the channels, how that food gets to them. So any conversation that we can get involved with as farmers to relay that message to them is a bonus to me. And using social media is in my opinion, is the most effective and affordable way to do that. All it takes is a bit of time.
Now, what sort of barriers are there? I know you've got an iPad. For farmers to get into using social media, I'm thinking like my cell coverage out here isn't going to be that great.
There's pockets where the cell coverage is limited, but the thing that I like with using Twitter also instead of a cell phone, Twitter or email, is when I'm at the end of the field, I can check my iPad, check for messages, type out an email, hit send, and I'll drive down the field. And somewhere as I drive down this field, the message will get sent.
You'll just pick up enough signal to
Eventually.
Yeah.
So it's how you learn how to use the tools. And I think the barrier with using social media, and maybe not per se farmers, but the population in general, is the security of knowing what you're doing and if you're doing it well. People have issues with transparency, like they only want to show so much. They don't want to have a open door policy. But I think we need to be more transparent and show the consumer what we are doing. And social media is an effective tool to show that transparency, because we are showing videos right on our farm. It's just as if you walked into our farm, as Anthony did today. You walk through my fields and you can see what's going on. Not that I'm saying you're allowed to walk through my fields, but by using YouTube as an example, you're able to get that visual as a virtual farm tour to see what we do. You're able to see inside people's barns where biosecurity is an issue through YouTube videos, and you're able to see how we raise our livestock and crop our fields.
Excellent. Do you have any, as we wrap up here, do you have any messages for the people watching from their computers around the world?
You can follow me on Twitter at Wayne K. Black. And hopefully one day we'll get out a message to you that piques your interest in agriculture and where your food comes from.
Excellent.
Good things grow in Ontario.
Thank you so much, Wayne.
You're welcome.